Welcome to the Gameology Observatory. We are your gameologists. I'm Bomb.
I'm Dora.
And I'm Tommy.
If you want to stay up to date on what we are doing, follow our social medias. It's dangerous to go alone, so come along with us as we discover some recent games and technology news that have been announced.
Up first, this might be a little sour of a topic for PC players, but Bless Unleashed, let me pronounce all of my letters, is coming out with an exclusive console title, backed by Bandai Namco. I want to make sure I say it correctly. They just announced their new Crusader class, equipped with a sword and shield. Crusader can devastate enemies with vicious strikes and timely blows. It's in-your-face defense, taunt your targets, typical tank-like character. But if you are familiar with Bless, you know that that's not a typical style really in Bless. It's an action RPG style, so it's more fast-paced, beat-em-up, button-mashing, combo-oriented fighting mechanic. Still maintains the same similarities as a normal tank. You still do your cleave attacks, your defense bolster abilities, and your taunts to try and pull off aggro. Are you guys familiar with Bless?
I have not, but judging from the trailer and how it looks, it almost seems like it's along the lines of, say, Neverwinter.
Yeah, kind of. Way better looking though. But yeah, it does have the same mechanics in fighting. I want to say that Bless's is a little bit more combo driven, whereas Neverwinter still very much has the what do you want to call that? The global cooldown effect.
Yeah, global cooldown and almost a classic MMO style effect.
Yeah, I did play Bless online. PC player.
I never got to. I heard mixed reviews about it.
Yeah.
Some people liked it, some people didn't so much.
It did have a massive following over in the eastern countries. Japan, China. Mostly China. Russia. There was actually a version of it in Russia.
I guess that would only make sense. A lot of the big MMOs that are coming out now, aren't even American, Western made. They're all made over in the East. A lot of them are Korean, and some of them are really good.
What were you saying at the beginning about good for PC players, not so good for console?
If I said it that way, I said it in reverse.
Okay, so
pardon my French.
No, you didn't say it that way. I couldn't remember. Why were you saying that?
Because this game came out as a PC-specific exclusive title, and it was that way for years, and people this game got a following. But there was the same general issues with every version of the game that came out. Now, they basically came out with the game that the PC players wanted, but it's exclusive to consoles.
Oh.
So, all the people, at least from what I've seen so far, I've watched a couple of reviews and reactions about this game. The PC players that came from Bless Online don't even want to look at this game because they just feel insulted. Now, granted, Bandai Namco was not a part of it during the PC run. So, They have a big backing now, in the sense of, money and whatnot through Bandai. And so, they can make the game that they truly wanted to make. It'd
be nice to see a Final Fantasy-ish thing go on with this. How Final Fantasy XIV, for its first year or two, did really, really bad. It was not a good game, and no one liked it. So, they reimagined it and called it A Realm Reborn, released it 2 years after its initial launch, and boom, it has this whole huge new following.
I'm kind of hoping that they go that route with this and do that to the PC, and they're just treating like the exclusive console aspect to this as its test run to see what they'll get. Maybe they're thinking that the console people are less harsh.
I think it might be the mix-over. This might be, since I see it's coming out on Xbox One, I don't really see it. Is it coming out on PS4 as well?
No. Xbox exclusive.
So maybe this is going to be their type of Final Fantasy, that it's going to be cross-platform with the PC, because Final Fantasy XIV you can play on a PS3 or a PS4. Or wait, the PS3 servers might have just recently went down, but I know you can still play on the PS4.
It would be nice to see something like that, because as a blessed PC player, I didn't dive into it as hard as everybody else. Nowhere near. I experienced it, but I didn't live it like everybody else. So I can only imagine the hurt that the people that actually backed this game from day one are feeling. That the game that they wanted to play is coming out for a console, and they don't want to play on console. But with it being Xbox, maybe this will be one of those games that you can also play through the Xbox Pass or whatever it's called. What's that called?
The Xbox Games Pass.
Yeah. Maybe you'll have the option to play it that way, so you can still play it on PC.
That'd be nice.
It would be. It is looking like Bless Unleashed. God, I can't talk for that. Is expected to come out later in 2019. No exact date as of yet. But Xbox One and Xbox One, what is it, 1X?
Yeah, the 1X.
Yeah, it's optimized for that as well, so you can run it at the most
4K.
effective. Yeah. So, I mean, the game is beautiful. So look for it later this year, 2019, Bless Unleashed. They've got all of the standard characters that you're used to playing within the original Blessed. Don't let it sour you too much. If you have an Xbox and you played it online on the PC, just play it on the Xbox. It still looks like a great game.
Oh yeah, and remember to keep in tune to Gameology.news. We have all the newest information that's coming out for Bless Unleashed.
I've seen a lot of information already come through for this game, so I definitely know we're going to be getting more. Including information on SteamWorld Quest. Developed by Image Inform Games, published by Thunderful Publishing AB. Coming for Nintendo Switch right now, out April 25th, and possibly for additional platforms later on. It's a role-playing card game where you lead a party of aspiring heroes through a beautifully hand-drawn world, intense battles, using only your wits and a handful of cards. What awaits you is a luscious treasure chest filled with gold, dragons, vivid worlds, magic, knights in shining armor, as well as XP, turn-based battles, and all the fancy RPG stuff that we've all come to know and love. This game sounds right up my alley, and I really want this.
I've been seeing a lot of these games coming through. I think we touched on it just slightly with the game last podcast, but there's so many deck-building RPGs now where you're pretty much fighting your way through.
This one's got a nice little twist on it, with the whole RPG element and deck. It's not necessarily a deck builder that we're all used to. Each individual character will have a deck of their own specific to their gear sets, and you can combo these three. I think you can have at most 3 characters on a party. These
that's
3
what
characters,
I was seeing in the trailer.
You can combo their cards together. So it's almost like you still design a deck for the tank role. You design the deck for the healer role or the debuff or the CC build. There's so many possibilities and combos that you can put forth with this style of game.
Oh yeah, what I love and hate about this style of game is you build this nice, awesome little deck, and then you don't get the cards that you want at the time when you want it. It's like,
Yeah. One thing that I've also seen too, because I've watched some things. I like to try and watch a couple of things about these PRs that we're talking about, and there's so many cards in the game that good luck in your first playthrough even acquiring all of these without grinding hours upon hours, because they're expensive from what I understand. I've not played the game, but from what I've seen, the inventory shop or the card shop that they have in game, the cards themselves are extremely expensive. And so to even get the idea of playing every single card is tacking on probably another 100 hours of just gameplay.
Oh
It
yeah,
looks
that sounds like a
interesting.
lot of grinding.
Yeah, it says here that they there's over 100 unique punch cards, but what looks really neat is that there's traditional fantasy concepts as well as Steam-driven robots. So they look like they're your army. They're the heroes or whatever that you're craft. No, what are they?
You yes, in a way, but you kind of fight against this like really steampunk-looking robotic force. That's who you're mostly fighting. Your people have more human-like features. They are steampunk in themselves, so I shouldn't have said you're wrong. But to just to classify them a little bit differently, the evil people really do look like your rough, jagged-edged steampunk kind of looks, whereas your people that you play as very much look like humans, rounded, with except for one guy. One guy looks like a brute. They have human-like qualities. I didn't even notice it at first until you just said that, and then the trailer played in my mind again. I was like, yep, they are metallic. I just said she's wrong, but they are, and so you're completely right.
That's very neat. I don't know. That looks really
look.
Interesting.
It's a nice play. It's a nice feel. It's a change of, I'm playing an elf, dwarf, halfling kind of thing.
Yes.
Human-based, humanoid. You're playing some, I don't want to really say steampunk because that's a style in itself and it doesn't necessarily really capture that. But like, what's the other, like mecha steam something or clockwork? There we go. Like clockwork, kind of like robots.
Yeah, just more from what the time is, it seems more like clockwork instead of steampunk. Because it's very fantasy. It's very medieval from the trailer. Like, there's knights in armor and everything like that. You're fighting a dragon.
Yeah.
Well, that'll draw a lot of people alone.
That dragon had goggles. The dragon had goggles, so that makes it steampunk, right?
Yeah, there you go. Now, one thing that I've also seen, though, to just bring everything out in the open about the game, is that... Excuse me, I got a hair in my mouth. That the villains, though they look cool, you're gonna get bored of them, because later villains tend to just be reskins of the other villains. You know what I mean? So they're kind of just recycling the same look of villains, just reskinning it and giving it slightly different attacks. But I don't necessarily think that that's a major killer, because they say the game only takes about 15 to 20 hours to beat if you just rush through it real quick. So
that's a decent game still.
It is a decent game, but I don't think that in that time frame you're going to be like, oh my god, I've seen this same guy in 14 different colors. Like, it probably only happens a couple of times, to be realistic, but just to put it out there, if seeing different artistic designs of villains and seeing the same one over and over again just will end it for you, now you know.
Well, that's what makes it RPG, right? It wouldn't be a good RPG if you didn't make one nice thing and then reskin it 50 different colors and call it something different.
I mean, that's what Final Fantasy always did. Your bosses and minions that you fought were just reskins from the beginning or whatever, so...
Yeah, they just got a little harder. That's all. But hey, we're all used to it.
What is the one that the slime? They just changed its color and it was a different slime. Yeah, there we go, the flam. All right. Well, to change things up a little bit, we got another game. It's a goofy game. If you like anime rhythm style games, you're more than likely gonna love this game. Guitar Hero style games. Well, I shouldn't say that, but it's a rhythm-based game.
I'm digging the music already from watching this trailer.
Now, forgive me if I'm wrong. K-pop or J-pop, one of the two. More likely it's J-pop, but it's one of them. I'm going to get butchered in the comments because I don't know, and I apologize. But it's following that genre of anime style video games, rhythm-based video games. Muse Dash, given the Player's Choice Award by Tap Tap in the Best Indie Game of 2018, is now coming to Switch and PC in June of 2019. The Switch version itself will come with free DLCs and updates, over 80 songs to master in-game, rhythm-mashed gameplay with surprising depth, a variety of stages, enemies, bosses to face representing different music genres. Limited time exclusive. Help me out with this. You guys know I can't say Asian names.
Okay.
Marija. Marija.
Marija and Marija?
Marija skin.
That's pretty.
3 unique heroines to play. Leaderboards for each song. Challenge yourself. And high level of difficulty. If you are familiar with Osu, which is a very popular game for PC, it's a different style of game in the sense of the mechanics and way it's played. But
well, yeah, I was just wondering how this was played after watching the trailer. Like, it looks all good and fine, but am I using my Joy-Cons to, like, jab around, or am I touching the screen? Is that what this is? Like, I'm just a little confused.
I believe, I'm not going to say this for sure because I don't know for 100% sure, that the touchscreen is activated so that you could do the touchscreen if you wanted to. Or it's probably just a 2-button combo. Because if you look on the screen, or in the trailer...
I'm seeing it go up and down, so I didn't know if it's like, you move like... What is it that... There's a drum game that recently came out for the Switch from Japan along the same lines, where you use the actual Switch controllers, the Joy-Cons, as the drumsticks.
It's a possibility. When you watch videos and stuff about these, they don't usually, unless you watch like the how to play the game.
I know, no one ever shows themselves playing it. They just show the game being played.
Because all they want to see is just the cheeky little anime girls. I mean, that's all you want to see when you play games like this.
I do like some of the animation. Like, I noticed that the one had a sword and it was cutting through the stuff. It was kind of cool.
I like this one a little bit more. I'm going to give it a little bit more credit compared to the other ones that I've seen, because at least in its style and its theme, when you're playing, it really holds true like an arcade style. It looks like an arcade style platformer. Now, the in-between screens, you really see the detailed images of these little, like, cheeky girls. I don't know how else to say it because I don't want to offend anybody.
Chibi.
But...
they're chibis.
But at least it doesn't try and overly do that. You know what I mean? It's not trying to be like, hey, we're trying to just sell our game through sex appeal. No, we're trying to sell our game through actual fun, interactive gameplay with a little bit of the stuff that you guys originally liked to begin with.
Just thinking about it now, with it being on PC as well, I'm going to say that it probably is a tap game that you would tap on the screen or move it that way, because just thinking about it, you'd click with the mouse.
Well,
probably how you would play on PC, or hopefully you could use one of those, a tablet, but not everybody has a plug-in tablet.
I really think that the button is just, or the game itself is more simpler to just like a button combo system. One button for the lower end, one button for the upper end. And it's just constantly tapping the buttons. That's why I said Guitar Hero, even though it's only 2 buttons. I don't know though. We'll see. We'll get more information about this, I'm sure. But from right now, I'm understanding it as a 2-button combo. If it's one of the ones like Osu, where you can actually use the pad, maybe it'll make things a little bit more fluid. I don't think this game would be difficult enough for somebody using a pad, though.
I think we need to go back to DDR.
There you go.
That's how I feel.
Go back to old school.
Let's get back to DDR, get people up off the couch and moving. Let's go.
They tried that with Wii Fit.
Yep.
But dancing to these songs would be so much more fun.
It's called Just Dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you have Just Dance, but DDR was better.
Yes, it was. That's right. Imagine this big fat kid jumping on a DDR pad. Woo! Good times.
I've never even tried one of those. I couldn't imagine trying it now, especially, but
did
when
you
I was
ever
younger.
play in the arcade?
Play any what?
Did you ever play DDR in an arcade? That used to be
No.
the big thing. Oh my
No.
goodness, it was so much fun.
I never had the courage to get up there and try and do DDR.
Tommy, going to an arcade, all we did was, smoke cigarettes and play, what was it, air hockey at that one?
Air hockey was about the only thing that I went to arcades for. Potentially pool. But all of my video gaming as a young age was just Halo LAN parties. That's about it. We didn't have an arcade really around us. When we grew up, the closest arcade was in the mall, and that got closed down about halfway through being a teenager.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even that good of an arcade.
No, it really wasn't.
It had X-Men, the staple of all arcades.
Yeah.
Our next topic is Fade to Silence. It'll be available on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One on April 30th. Takes players into a frozen, post-apocalyptic world where defying nature's threats and enemies is key. A compelling mix of a puzzling story, constant strife for resources, balancing short-term needs versus your long-term goals, and a tense, atmospheric mood makes this game a unique survival adventure. Explore a vast winter landscape, frozen river delta to once lush farmlands and dense forests, with many locations to explore. Tense atmosphere and unforgiving gameplay. Oh, I'm out. This is a strategist game. Nope. Wolf sled expeditions. Pack your sled, take a follower with you, and go on long-term expeditions into the farthest regions. You can recruit followers to get access to better gear, enabling you to survive the cold environment and increasingly dangerous creatures. Exploration mode, that's for me.
Yeah.
Lets you roam the world and experience the story at your own pace. And you can lead your followers to keep them alive. Okay, can you say Oregon Trail?
A post-apocalyptic Oregon Trail, yeah.
You got dysentery? Sorry, you gotta stay behind.
It's so bad, I didn't even think about that, what it is. Oh. Bomb, I was gonna say, if it wasn't for Ark burning us out of survival games, this would probably be a nice game. Too bad it's only single player.
That might actually make me want to play it. Like, from what I saw from the trailer, it reminded me of mixing survival, like from what's going on in the PR, with it looks like God of War.
Yeah.
It gives me that effect or that feel like the newest God of War, where it's open world and you can just pretty much go and do what you want and experience it as it comes. Like, that's almost what this trailer is reminding me of.
It's got an extremely well done base building application or part of the game. I don't know how you want to call it, but excuse me. You can set your followers up on tasks of completing parts of your settlement or your base. God, why is it that every time we decide to do a podcast, I get gassy?
Yeah, I don't know.
But after watching some of the trailers and whatnot of the game, I thought you and we'd get a kick out of this game at least, because of how well it is. It's a very nice survival, like you said, mixture of that Gods of War action style combat system.
Yeah, it doesn't seem first-person shooter-ish. So, like,
No.
all the games we're talking about's all really first person unless you play them third. But this game seems like it's a full-on third person, or
Yeah.
even like a menu system. I don't know how the actual controlling the people are going to be. I didn't look more into it. But it looks like it could be a really good RTS mixed with a third-person shooter.
It definitely has some RTS parts, elements to it, especially in the base building, and with the followers, because you can kind of customize your followers. You know, there's one that's an alchemist, there's one that's a forager, so forth. So certain followers do tasks better. You build your little settlement huts so that you can have more followers, and your followers last longer. So there's like the RTS element to it. But then once you go out into the open world, even Conan Exiles, it has that same kind of feel where you just combo mash your melee attacks, dodging from attacks, using combo bow, because it is very much medieval style combat. Swords of some kind, bludgeoning weapon of some kind, arrows. There's no black powder, there's no guns or anything like that.
This is like a decline era in civilization. Apocalypses happen. Okay, what are we gonna do? Oh, let me just pull off of this blade here. I'm just gonna sharpen this up. We got a sword now.
Yeah.
Did we watch the same trailer? Nobody else is talking about the big black ghoulie thingy that just went in and like did this weird thing, and there's these demons everywhere, and then there's this ship with tentacles.
I was gonna say this giant spaghetti monster ship. Like,
I'm like, fight the corruption. I am into the story already.
It's a nice, like, good versus evil story plot. Because I believe, again, I haven't played, just from what I've seen, that your character kind of cleans the world of this corruption, either by absorbing the corruption himself, or manifesting it in some way so that it doesn't come back. But he's basically the sole survivor tasked with cleaning the rest of the world of this corruption.
it's okay, we'll just brew it into liquors, and we'll sell it back to the things.
Yep. But they do have all kinds of weird tentacle-like monsters, hound-like alien beasts. It's
Cthulhu came to Earth
Yep.
and dropped tentacles everywhere and said, "Go,
Pretty
my
much.
children."
looks like a very exciting, action-packed, drama-filled game for sure, and
I'm
with the
excited to
survival
see more on
elements. And I'm surprised that they did it. Well, I shouldn't say I'm surprised that they did it, but it's nice that they did it. That they did put an exploration mode, so kind of like a creative mode, for you just to experience. So more than likely, what that is kind of the same concept as Fallout. You can either go out there and do the complete survival aspect, where you have to drink and do all this stuff to survive, or you can go into the exploration mode, where you don't actually have to survive the wilderness. You can just play the game without the fear of just randomly dying because you froze to death.
Yeah, what us plebs call normal and everybody else
Yeah.
plays survival. Like,
Yep.
nope, survival's not for me. I don't want to drink anything. I just want to play and shoot things for hours.
Yep.
We have a couple of the trailers and more information on the website, Gameology.news. Also, if you're looking to find a way to support us, we do have a Patreon, or you could just simply come and join the community and chat and hang out. Somebody's always around.
That's right, you yourself could be the next gameologist.
Woo!
Anything's possible. We're not, top grade beef people. You know what I mean? We're just normals.
We're just the normal plebs.
Our first topic, guys. One, kind of hits home for me. Two, is I'm extremely proud that this is actually happening. Guys, if you're not familiar, if you haven't heard anything about it, and you're looking for a cause to support, Ablegamers charity You can check out their information, ablegamers.org. Basically, to give you guys a rundown of what this is, there are these two guys that have started up this charity foundation that is trying to figure out a way to get physically disabled and, just any form of disabled people playing video games again or for the first time. Myself, like I said, it kind of hits home. Now I can play games normal, but there's times when trying to do certain things that I could do when I was younger, I can't do anymore because I have muscular dystrophy myself. Like now, I can't hold onto a controller because it's too narrow. The way you hold it close to your torso, and I just can't do it.
You need an original Xbox One.
Yeah, the fatter ones.
Yep.
But that's what's nice about Ablegamers is they're going out there and they're making custom-made controllers. Anything that they can do to make a kid, adult, whoever that is disabled able to play this game with their friends. I've even seen that they figure out a way to set up a controller that somebody can use just with their eyes. So that's insane. Not only are they doing things that's never been done for people, they're doing things for people that nobody even cared to think about doing things for.
Exactly.
Nobody cared to be like, I want to see if we can get disabled people to play video games. In my mind, that should be your perfect audience. Because let's be real, they don't really go out, and they don't have the freedom to just go out and do whatever they want to, so their freedom comes in the virtual world. I hate to keep bringing it back to my end, but I can't run anymore. So when I get that really strong urge to run, I just get into a game and I sprint. I really dive into the game and I play it as if it's me doing these things, because at one point in time I felt like I could, and now I can't. So now it's giving all of these other people that never had this opportunity to experience that adrenaline that comes from video games can now feel. It's a beautiful thing. I can't believe it's happening.
What I like most about this charity is that they're taking something that Microsoft developed earlier this year. At the end of last year, I saw about it. It was coming about that, Microsoft has all of these new attachment controllers coming out for disabled people, like you're talking about. But this is actually a charity that's trying to get those in the hands of the disabled people, because you still have to buy them. You know what I mean? Microsoft made them, but at the same point, you can't just, can I have that, please? But that's what this charity is doing, is they're giving back to those people, making it a thing. A lot of people might not even know that they came out with this, but they had a whole big video of children that are missing arms and everything like that, using these controllers and playing and experiencing games for the first time. And for a charity organization to bring this to the rest of the world, it makes me really happy.
Yeah, if you've seen any of these videos, especially the ones that have been doing it for the first time, you see the just glimmer in their eyes when they're playing a game, and they're not, who knows how the controller works, but regardless if they're doing well or not, they're enjoying it way more than what we enjoy it. And that's the point of games. You see the bliss and the pure enjoyment from video games in the eyes of these individuals that are suffering.
I think how it's done is, have you ever seen the Steam controller?
No.
So the
I'm
Steam
sure I have,
controller doesn't have any real joy nubs on it. It has two big circles that you just hover your fingers around and over, and it does your button input or whatnot for you. I think it's using that sort of technology to actually do it, but on a grander scale, because that's still just thumb size. These are actual, the size of my fist or bigger.
Yeah. I did see a example of that with they just did a promo video for their charity. One of the guys that's using it, who also has muscular dystrophy, was using a controller that had similar D-pad and analog areas that you're talking about, because he just couldn't.
And then you only have to lightly
move.
Press. You don't have to actually do a lot of big motion movement that we take for granted how much our thumbs can push over or click around or whatnot, but when you can't move your thumb up and down fast like that, it's hard.
Oh my god, yeah. It's given these, I keep wanting to say kids. It's not designed just specifically for kids. My heart just goes for the kids. But,
my heart goes out to the military. These people that loved games and something bad happened to them and they're missing an arm or something like that. These people can get back to playing and doing things that they once did.
It's changing the realm and the possibilities as to who all can enjoy and what can be done. This in combo with streaming platforms now. Now it's nice to see that somebody with, MS or something like that, that can't go out and work a normal 9 to 5, can sit at home, play some video games, get a following of people on stream, and actually make a life for themselves. Because most people, in the sense of being honest, they want to earn their own way. Even if you've spent most of your life in a chair or something, you want to do something to make yourself feel like you've accomplished something. And that's my biggest issue with disability, at least, I don't want to say in the world, but in our country, is that, once you're kind of classified as a person with a disability, you're kind of just looked at as a person that's just never going to do anything anymore, so you kind of get looked over. This is now giving these people the ability to say, nope, you're going to look at me, and you're going to enjoy it. Opening up so many avenues for them.
I forget what it is, but do you know the people that have the wheelchairs that you blow into and it makes it move and does its thing?
Yeah.
I'm just imagining some kind of controller like that mixed up with eye ray tracking to, for your clicks and whatnot. That person might be the next Call of Duty world champion.
Yeah, exactly. You don't even know. It's so much a possibility that it could. And they already have implemented the technology being able to do that through this charity. They haven't done just controllers. They've done normal game pads up to eye reading technology.
The ray tracking is amazing. What it can do for a lot of things is just exponential.
They're doing everything they can to help out these people, and I'm thankful that these kind of people are around and they're here to help, instead of just coming up with something and then selling it to people, customizing it for certain people, and then providing it to the rest. Now, these things are expensive, guys, so like just a simple pad can go anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000, but it's completely customized for that specific person to be able to enjoy a world that they've never had access to. So again, if you guys want to check it out, it's ablegamers.org. You can go to their webpage. If you scroll to the bottom, it'll give you a link that you can go to donate. You can check out everything they're about. Again, it's a very small charity, but they're doing big things.
Oh yeah, check down in the description. We'll have a link down there for you guys to click on to make it easy as well, so you can guys check out this charity.
One of the best parts, I think, about the about this is, well, first of all, it definitely makes you thankful and grateful that you don't endure this every day, the struggle. But what they're doing on the website is making it easier for developers to connect with those with disability to be able to accommodate them. There are player panels that give a one-on-one bridge between gamers and the game creators. So that gives the gamers and players with disabilities a way to have their voices heard.
Mm-hmm.
And like Tommy was saying, it is expensive, so if you are looking to back a good cause, this is definitely a good cause to go for. Moving on and kind of bridging the gap, there's a game that you read a lot about online that helps helps people, I don't want to say through emotional times, but kind of through tough times. Actually, I had read an article about when they decided to put the wolf link in Breath of the Wild. There was actually a boy out there that was very grateful because it reminded him of his brother, because he used to play or watch his brother play Twilight Princess all the time. But that brings us to The Legend of Zelda. So we have games like the original Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, and all the handhelds and everything in between. But I think a game that gets looked over is The Adventure of Link, Zelda 2. Why it gets looked over, it could be a few reasons. I just started recently playing it because I'm going to work on a review for it. Which I actually have a review on the website for the original Legend of Zelda game. And it's a lot of fun, I have to be honest. I can certainly understand where going from the first Legend of Zelda game, where you don't need experience to level up.
Yeah, but you kind of needed experience in that game. If you didn't have enough hearts, you end up dying. You can do it 3 hearts, but, that's pro.
You had to go all over Hyrule and search for your hearts. You leveled up your armor. You got a bigger shield. Whereas in this game so far, mind you, I've only started the second palace, you get experience to level up your health, which is basically your defense. You take less damage. You level up your attack, which is kind of like getting better weapons in the first game. So your attack is stronger, and eventually things that took 2 hits will only take 1. And also magic. Not that you didn't have magic in the first Legend of Zelda, but it's done differently.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You don't really have magic in Zelda games. That's the one thing that was forgotten out of the whole 2. And it's apparently everybody hated the magic so much that it didn't get included anymore. Like, oh, you want magic? Here's a magic item that casts fire. You can't cast fire yourself anymore.
So in this one, the magic uses magic points, and you can cast shield, which is one of the things that it was one of the first ones that you get, which is awesome. The worst part, though, is the dying. It's definitely the dying. So the music is the same. It is the kind of 16-bit music that you're used to. But then that annoying beep over top of it just somehow sounds so much more intense and awful in this game. Especially since you're gonna sit around almost dead all the time. But when you have 3 lives, and when you lose all your health, which is not hearts, by the way, it's boxes. You lose all your health.
Boo.
You go down to 0 health, and that's 1 life, 2 life, 3 life. And then at the end, you get a game over. Ganon laughs in your face, and you have to start at the beginning. Like in Legend of Zelda, you have a beginning point. But if you were at like 650 of 700 experience points, say bye-bye to that experience. It's not coming back.
It was the original Demon Souls / Dark Souls game. You're up there, you have your XP. Oh, I'm so close! And then you fall into a pit and you die, and it's like, game over! Oh, you,
It really was. So when people like, that, like, Dark Souls and Demon Souls, they all say that they, take, ideas or pay homage to The Legend of Zelda by doing this or that. It really is where all of these concepts began. I recently did an article based on a poll that we did for who's our favorite hero. Obviously Link won, because, I mean, who doesn't like Link? Going over why he's the greatest hero of video games.
I could have swore I voted for a certain plumber, but we won't talk about him.
Sorry, you got outvoted. Link's better. I voted for Link even, okay?
Hey.
Let's just face facts here.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with a plumber that just wants to eat spaghetti, save his girl from this toad man.
I voted for Cloud.
He's just a Link knockoff. Actually,
whoa!
Oh my god, no way!
Oh, she just went there.
Oh my god.
Okay, keep on going. Let's hear more about Stink.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I really don't care either way, but there is an article out on the website about the Hero of Hyrule. Also, if you have opinions or would be interested in writing anything about gaming news, we are looking for writers to come and join us. You can come and join the Discord and talk to me, Dora, and we can talk to you about possibly writing for the website. You can get published online. That would be awesome. One thing that would be pretty interesting would be a virtual reality Legend of Zelda game. But I hear that we're pretty close to that, aren't we?
Hope not.
No, because it needs to be a Legend of Zelda virtual reality from the other point of view. Not Link and not Zelda. Just saying. But Nintendo Labo...
So what? We're just gonna sit in a castle for like 50, 60 hours and wait for somebody to come and fight us?
Why'd you go there?
Sorry, I had to. You went there with Cloud.
Oh, okay.
Zinger!
But Nintendo Labo was a Super Mario Odyssey and Legend of Zelda, I think. They have a virtual reality mode for those using the Nintendo Labo.
Yeah, they've included first-person mode for both of the games, and you're going to be able to build a VR headset to hold your Switch up to and play it like that. I feel like my shoulders would get cramped like that.
Yeah, think about virtual reality.
You know what that reminds me of? Do you remember the old virtual reality? What was it?
I have one, Virtual Boy from Nintendo. It was.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it showed it
all
red.
Yep. Had an own little like triangle stand that it came with.
Yep, I have one. The triangle stand's a little broken. It still works. Okay. I have 3 games. I have the Wario game, a Bomberman, and I forget what the other one was. I think it's tennis, because I think everybody had tennis.
That console was legit. I loved having that thing as a kid.
See, not many people did, but I was one that was happy about it. Like, it was something so awesome. It gave a lot of people headaches, but at the same point, having it as a collector just makes me so happy that I still have one.
Yeah. Now, my feeling, even though I did enjoy that, my feeling for virtual reality is, honestly, I don't want it.
I think it's bad for the future. I really do.
I see very good things, but I can see where you guys are coming from. Like, I'd love to experience a game like Fallout with a headset on and be able to turn and move and walk forward, but it puts you in a very immersive spot where, are you really there or are you not there?
Right.
Okay. So I sat when Breath of the Wild came out, not to go back to Zelda, but this is kind of the feeling I think I would get from virtual reality. I played Breath of the Wild for 10 hours straight. Sitting in front, all I did was I got up and got Doritos and soda. That was it. I was 16 again. It was incredible. But I walked away from that game hollow inside. Part of it was the game. I was on a search. I didn't find what I was looking for. Damn you, Nintendo. But if I hadn't have sat there for so long, it would have been okay. I just have this feeling that virtual reality is going to give you that same disconnected feeling. And it's going to be hard to bridge that. Like, going from virtual reality back to real life, it's going to blow your mind.
That's my fear and dislike of virtual reality, to the point that I think it's going to go beyond virtual reality and we're going to get augmented reality. Just like we got in Ready Player One.
Yes.
That's eventually how games and things are going to get to the point if we keep traveling this route of VR. Now, is that bad? I don't know, because that's pretty cool looking, but when you give people the ability to go into an unrestricted realm, people are so grimy. Like, already with the VR that we have now, you can go in there and you can see people.
VR chat is a prime example for what you're thinking of.
What's that?
VR chat is you can essentially upload any skin that you want from any game of sorts, and you can walk around as that character. So we'll bring back a guy that hasn't been around for about a year. What was his name? Uganda Knuckles? Yeah. That's where Uganda Knuckles is from, VR chat.
Oh.
That's where he was made very famous. People were walking around in that skin going, "Oh, do you know the way?
Do you know the way?"
That sounds creepy. Next thing you're going to see Momo showing up. No, thank you.
I'm sure Momo would be there.
Yep. It's just, I don't know. I like that there's a simple, just putting down the controller or walking away from the mouse and keyboard, that's your separation from your game. When it comes to like VR and like augmented reality, I feel like it blurs that line of separation, and it kind of just is gonna. We're human beings. We're very addicted, or we are easily addicted to things.
Yes.
And to put this kind of world out there, I don't think that we are psychologically ready for something like that.
VR might be nice and all for the gaming realm, but AR is the future of gaming. Just think about where you're introduced to it right now with Pokemon Go. Everything like that is all AR related. You're using your phone, looking at something, tossing it. Eventually that stuff, like Google Glass, and there was a Windows or a Microsoft project, everything was trying to build those into glasses to make AR a possibility. One day we'll get back there, but right now VR is the closest that we have. So your fears are right. We are heading that way as a culture, but at the same point, as a gamer, like, these AR games are so nice. I could go out with a bunch of people and shoot zombies, but it's with my phone on the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I kind of hope that things just for the society, the whole world as people, we become better and are able to interact with people on a more, I don't want to say professional, but like, you know what I mean? You don't need to just walk up to some random person that could potentially be a 14-year-old girl and just start calling her, a slut or something like that, and you're just cocking off and you don't really know. But that's going to have actual effects on the person that's experiencing that kind of behavior.
Oh yeah.
But then you don't take any responsibility from it because you changed the skin of your character the next day, and freaking Zelda was harassing me yesterday. calling me a smeeze, and now it's freaking SpongeBob. Like, what's going on?
There's good and bad, just like in everything. There's good and bad. It all depends on the developers, the people, everything. How we want to use this. I'm just not a fan in general of, this is funny to say, but technology and automation, mostly automation. I don't like the idea of automated houses. I don't like the idea of Google or Amazon listening into my conversations.
Yeah.
So this is just another step in that direction of taking things out of my hands.
So I guess final question then. VR, good or bad?
Yep, let us know. Comment below. Hopefully you're on my side because it's the right side, but it's okay to be on the other side. Definitely let us know.
That's right, everybody on the bomb side.
Yay for Dora. Yay.
And remember to always know your games.